Some modifications and activities discussed in this podcast should not be attempted or recreated. Make sure to keep the mods legal and obey the laws of the road and keep routine ages. Welcome, guys. Welcome to
And we're how far in now? 5 minutes, and we still haven't been able to start.
You were fixing the cameras.
At least
though.
last week, like we had 6 minutes recorded, and then went, no, we're not doing this.
No, you fucked it last week. No, not last week.
No.
Was that about a month ago?
No, it was 2 weeks ago.
Alright. Oh, well, my head's all over the show. Anyway, well, guys, welcome to the Limited Slip Differences podcast. The podcast where we talk about all the local car scene stuff, as well as some of the farming stuff, and the odd time we'll talk about lorries. We haven't talked about lorries yet, but we will get there at some stage.
Someday that'll come.
I'm
looking just for like the time when I just see something or hear something, and I just be like, yes.
If you see my head moving a lot, I don't want to blow your eardrums out.
There is that as well. So, what's the crack?
Not much, mate.
NM, what about you? So, fun fact, we actually meant to record this podcast on Tuesday.
Yeah, no, I landed down and Michael was having a wee bit of a stressful situation, so we're only into 2023, like 3 months, well, no, 2 months.
Well, it's the third month, so 2 months have went by.
When you're hearing this, it'll be another way, but anyway.
Yeah.
You had a wee bit of a stressful situation, didn't you?
Well, imagine someone asked you for 20 quid and goes, here, can I give you 20, can you give me 20 quid?
How is this related?
Just shut up. And you go, here you go. And they just go, thanks. And they rip it in half in front of you. Right? That's how I felt on Tuesday night. And like, 20 quid's a lot of money. Okay, so where I'm going with that load of random bullshit is I decided whenever I was chatting with Ali, the car's going back to his. I think we've discussed it in episodes 1, 2, and 3 at this point. When I was going back,
it's a going theme.
It's a going theme. So
has he had the car longer than you at this stage?
Fuck, I don't know. Well, it's behind us at the minute.
True. Yes, this is Michael's car. If you didn't already know, probably know by this stage, but just in case you didn't already know.
Fuck it, hate it. Anyway, no, right. You've lost my train of thought. Anyway, so a couple of issues with fueling. Talked about it. The injectors, fuel pump, yada yada yada.
Yeah, of course.
But I decided. Ali was like, "Go check your fuel pipe inside the fuel tank." So the hose that connects basically the gauze at the bottom of your tank into your fuel pump, which then pumped obviously on up to the car.
Yeah.
I got that wrong. Gauze is attached to the fuel pump and then it goes up.
You're not going to be as if I know when I have a clue.
Long story short, it was just basically to check the rubber line to see if there's any damage, any leaks, if there's any holes on it or whatever, in case maybe if the car was low on fuel and she would draw on.
I'm only saying this, but judging by the audio thing, you're very quiet.
Yeah, but if you listen back to it, it'll actually sound okay.
We are not pausing this and going.
No, we're not pausing this. We're keeping her. I'm not.
If you can't hear Michael, tough shit.
I'm not doing this again. So, yeah. So it was like, right, okay, yeah, that's fine. So started, and I was like, I'll drop the fuel tank. 10-minute job. And
was it a 10-minute job?
Was it? Of course it wasn't. Is anything? I'm surprised it didn't break some. Actually, no, it did. I nearly kinked one of my fuel lines.
Well, in episode 3, you admitted to being an idiot, so definitely wouldn't go to TV 10 minutes.
It's a running theme at this point, but so that was okay. So I only found this bit out from Ali after. So I was like, I'll drop the fuel tank.
Yeah.
And I was like, right, okay. And the next thing, there's like a rubber seal goes around like the filler into the tank.
Yeah.
Right?
Uh-huh.
So my car can be questionable with where the fuel reads. For instance, when I started the car up in the shed there the other day, I was sitting saying empty. I was convinced it was empty. But then by the time I parked it in here, it said it was full. But then when I clicked the ignition, yeah, I know, I'm just trying to be polite. When I clicked the ignition, it said it was empty again. I was like, right, cool, okay. Clearly no fuel in the car. My gauge is just playing up. So, where the fuel comes out in the car, where the seal for the fuel tank, where the fuel tank, I suppose, inlet is, so to speak, is lower than the top point of your fuel tank.
Okay.
which I forgot. My fuel tank was also full to the fucking brim, Connor. It could not have been more full.
Pretty dear stuff, probably at the time.
Yeah. So literally, I started bunking the fuel tank down and was like, yeah, I'll get this pulled down, get the fuel pump off, investigate it. And I think I had about 10 litres of fuel just spilled all over the floor. And then
at least you didn't get it in yourself.
Then I was like, oh fuck, sent a Snapchat, and the next thing I got from Ali was going, you don't think you'd have put a fucking bucket under that instead of taking a Snapchat, you stupid bastard? And I was like, you've got a point. But
I'm trying to think that you made a boo boo, and the first thing you did was fix it. No. But try and clean it up. No. Get a bucket. No. Snapshot it. Yes.
Then the thing is, Ali goes, I take it you forgot you're supposed to take the fuller neck with the tank. And I was like, I forgot that one. So yeah, ended up with a considerable amount of fuel lying on the floor, and no, my luck, which I'm surprised didn't happen. Like, one of my burners would have just probably toppled over and would have set me on fire. That didn't happen, and I'm surprised.
Well, you had a wee bit of luck. Just a wee bit of luck.
So anyway, got the hose and checked. It was fine. Put it back up in. Everything's fine. So at the minute we're lying with no inlet manifold. So the inlet manifold's up with Ali. Will you hear this as well? Okay, so remember I talked last week about how much of wankers parcel force are?
Aye?
I did. I talked about how they lost my air.
Well, it's not last week, but the last podcast.
It was in the last podcast. Right, well now I hate Hermes.
He doesn't like them. He likes them.
Right, so
the only reason, right, that I actually kind of like Hermes, or Every as they're called now, is because a guy close to me, I can't name his name, he would have either he had a shed and distributed it for them, or basically took say the packages and then delivered them, sort of.
Yeah.
But he delivered them at 8:30 in the morning. Nothing ever wrong with them. So I never really had a quarrel with him.
Well, Conor,
do you have a quarrel with them?
Got a phone call from Ali saying, "Aye, do you want the good news or the bad news?" And I went, "Right, what's up?" And he goes, "Packages have arrived." And I goes, "Right, that's what the bad news." He goes, "It's not at my house." So,
is there another Ali McClelland about the place?
No, so it literally come up saying Hermes notification, your package has been delivered, take a photo, and Ali was like, that's not my doorstep. And I was like, right. So anyway, got in a dispute, blah blah blah, found out then the day he has them. So
that's good then.
B16 throttle body conversion to the Saab inlet manifold is now in progress, I hope, before Dubshed, because I can't drive my car like this. It's not like, oh yeah, I'll not worry about it and just drive the car up. No, I'm committed now. So the car is either right, or it's not going to Dubshed So yeah, inlet manifold off. Probably should be taking this time to do some of the other stuff, but
between the last podcast when it recorded, when I at the minute I can't remember. So anyway,
2 weeks
you had something spicy lined up wheelwise, and that did not work out.
Didn't materialise.
No.
Long story short, could have got it to work. Didn't want to take a drill to one of my best mates' wheels.
It's not as if they're £100 wheel either.
No. So basically, I had a set of work T7Rs lined up, 18-inch, which static would probably be okay, but on hydraulics would leave the car still incredibly high off the ground, despite looking buried.
Yeah.
But they're true 5x114 fitment, which means that they're.
Are you 5x114 fitment?
No, I'm 5x112.
Oh.
So.
Do you just stick a set of V-Mans or something like that?
Kind of want to try and maintain some form of Jap style, but anyway.
You should do that for the shits and giggles someday. Just for the shits and giggles.
I think you may have a problem with the offset.
I wouldn't worry about that. You shouldn't worry about that. You don't normally worry about that.
Yeah, but if it's as in too close in,
I know.
I'd have to run a really big
Alfred's for the crack.
Again, same problem. Would hit the strut.
Aye, but sure, why not for the crack of it?
Might try it someday.
Honestly?
Yeah, I might try it someday.
Why have you never thought of this?
I would, yeah. No, I have.
Like, people call you a dimwit as it is. Imagine Alfred's in the Sierra. They wouldn't call you a dimwit anymore. They'd just be like,
don't know, like, the Alfred phase is kind of gone. If I had been like 2015, 2016, maybe.
Have you been in the streets these days? No, not well.
Look, Alfred's are a classic, like, we all know that, but well, like, I can mean,
you should try my wheels on the Golf for the shits and giggles of it.
Oh, that would look so Max Power-esque. It wouldn't, because your wheels are OEM Plus, but the fact that they're just really oversized wheels.
They're 19B8s, so they're very skinny, but they set out quite far, to be fair.
It would leave my car in stilts. Like,
it would, but it would be a bit of fun for a night.
Anyway.
Be optimistic. Be optimistic. Be optimistic.
Anyway, long story short, to get back to trying to get to some form
This is not a short story.
No. Well, you keep changing the subject for a change. But anyway, so yeah, T7Rs, true 5x114, which means that they're designed for a 12mm diameter stud. So,
and you couldn't fit it through the hole.
No, yeah, I couldn't find the hole. So basically, because of that, then because my car's 5x112,
you had to make the hole bigger,
which I'm happy enough to do to my own wheels.
Yes,
but not to his. And no. I said to him, as I said to Krath, I was like, do you mind if I take a drill to these? And he was like, if you want, but it was a kind of a bit of a hesitant.
It was like I'm going to tell you because I'm nice.
Yeah,
but please don't.
Yeah, it was pretty much
I can't really say no to you, but
it's like, go on ahead, but I'd rather you didn't. And then I just kind of sort of.
You're like, I've taken the hint.
I was like, you know what? Like, you've said yes, but I know you mean no. So
yeah.
So that's where we're at. So anyway, gone for a completely different style now. So last year it was all about like how much camber could I get up front. And
hot boy.
Well, I do still like the hot boy look, but Ragunas haven't sold. Sorry, wish they had. So
I was about to be like, who bought them?
I just can't justify putting being out far more money on another set of wheels.
True. It's 2023.
Yeah, inflation's a big thing.
Fuel has come down. It is the only thing to come down.
Fuel has come down.
But I'd say something else will happen in the world and just be like, oh my god, fuel is essential. We'll just put it up to 2
and then just drive the costs up again, to be fair. But so yeah, that was change of plans completely. Now pretty much going no camber. And with the way my arches are done, it's going to be hard to work with no camber because I nearly needed all the tilts for my arch nearly to flow into the lip. Whereas now when you're running a fatter tyre, it's going to be difficult to look as good.
Before you made the car fit the wheels, and now you're having to make the wheels fit the car.
Yeah, and then I've discovered some things just playing about with my...
It's easier to make wheels fit a car. It's not easy to make a car fit the wheels.
No, and when I was playing about with like the bottom control arms and stuff, and I think I might have to try and use spacers, and I'm going to have to change and go to skinnier tires. But I'd still want to try and go for the minimal stretch, like fatter tire look. Because to be honest, like one of the other things about driving about, I think I might have even said this in the last podcast, I can't remember, but when you're driving about with that much camber, like it's just not comfortable to drive because you're constantly looking for potholes. You're constantly like, if you go to overtake someone on the road, you're kind of worried like about hitting a cat's eye, and because you've such a little contact patch, you've all that stress going into one small area, and you're kind of always saying you'd hit a cat's eye and maybe hit it a bit harder.
So you want to be able to drive the car and just enjoy the car?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
So like, it would like hopefully to maybe get it out drifting this year. I think I spoke about all this in the last podcast as well, so it's probably going to be...
Sounds horrendous, but we haven't a clue what we said in the last podcast.
No, that was too long ago.
Yeah.
So anyway, Conor.
Yeah.
What is the topic of this week's podcast?
Well now, so before we chatted about Marfelt and Feltspec.
Yes.
Now we're talking about the port on a Sunday, because by the time this does come out, now judged by Facebook, there's meant to be a bit of a gathering going on.
Well, yeah, so...
Cruise.
Yeah, so, I mean, even before the Facebook events come along, it was always port on a Sunday when the weather sort of broke and got better.
Oh, totally.
But I suppose with all the new hype and kind of with the way PCS are very, very popular these days, they've kind of helped hype that. So it's on Facebook. People would have been going to the port anyway, but it's kind of, there's a bit of hype around it now for the 19th, which is when this is scheduled to come out.
Yes.
So I'm hoping that people might listen. Probably not. They'll probably be going down the road drinking buckfast and smoking beans, which fair enough.
Everybody's entitled to do what they want, but maybe you might like to listen to.
You might want to listen to this.
You know, us
down the road.
Chat shite about the port
and how much I hate my life because of my car.
Will it be there, Michael?
I think we both know the answer to that question.
You know, you never know what might make it.
If Crest lets me borrow his recovery lorry, maybe.
Sure, you can just cruise around with it on top of the recovery lorry.
Do you mind? No, you weren't there. Stevie done that at Donegal one year.
He drove the recovery lorry with his car on it?
Yes.
Well, here, at least it made it.
We'll talk about that in our podcast when we get on to Donegal Rally. But
sure. Well, the port, well, more so for Easter Sunday, but I suppose that could nearly be another topic in itself.
Yeah.
But the port, like, is the place to go with your car.
Period. Completely agree. So,
like you have Salt Hill in Galway, or the boys in the west.
None on the port. Boys
well, it doesn't have any.
Boys from Galway will come to the port.
Yes, but that's the closest they have to it.
Oh yeah. And
I don't know
Newcastle and County Down as well.
Yes,
but it's.
I don't know if it's much like Killarney or that for down like real, like Kerry and that, but like the port for us guys up here is.
It's pretty much like.
It's a spot to go to see everybody's nice car, because everybody will go to the port. Show off their nice car.
Suppose before I entered the world anyway, and suppose yourself too, Conor, before we entered the world of car shows, we're kind of like the first big show of the year became your deadline. It was always getting the car ready for the port. I want to get the car ready for the port. So, like, when I first got the 207 and I got it lowered and on the wheels and everything, it was in time for the port.
Yeah.
And you go there and you sit in traffic for fucking hours.
Fun story.
Watching your fuel gauge and your temperature gauge just going. Aye. People don't understand it until you're there. And I guess for the demographic of who's listening to this podcast,
they get it.
They will get that.
I like to think they got it.
Have you, like, you know, there is just I call it the port look, where you're sitting with the arm on the sort of rest just in the window, and you're kind of just sort of glancing at the kind of 45-degree angle.
You look creepy, lad, right now.
So you're like kind of like, and you're sort of looking ahead of you and kind of looking at the car as well. But you don't want to make it obvious that you're staring at the car that's driving past you, especially if you see something really nice. And like it's kind of one of them things where
that's where full tints come in.
I call it the port look. So it's the.
You could just wear sunglasses and they wouldn't catch your eyes.
But where's the fun in that?
Full tints.
Yeah, to be fair, but
the window half down.
It's only see so your goes.
The other thing about it is you have to have the music full blast.
You get some
cowboy hats and the rear partial shelf.
Yeah, older the fella.
If I sound like I actually can't talk tonight, it's because it's really cold again.
Yeah, hence why normally I wear like jeans when we do this. I say normally. We've done 3 podcasts. Get ahead of yourself, Michael. And
yes,
like so. But 3 out of the 4 times I've wore jeans tonight because it's that fucking cold. I'm wearing work trousers. So
are they much warmer than jeans?
Oh yeah.
Oh, fair enough.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, so the port is the place to go if you want to cruise. To be fair now, Marfelt's a good lapping route, but the port, Jesus, it's hard to beat.
5 out of 5 and Conor struggled by your chart. It's exceptional. It's highest rated.
Yes.
But
many good reviews.
You dug yourself a fucking hole saying that one, but anyway, like, suppose, so early memories then, I guess, like, I think I kind of talked about this maybe in the first podcast or maybe it was the second podcast. I can't remember because ADHD,
I can't remember.
ADHD kicks in and the whole thing's a myth. But so I can remember, like, specifically being about 8, and I think I have mentioned this. One of, like, the standout moments was it was the middle of the summer. I think it was the Red Seals Festival, and I can remember, like, this is back when Bluetooth radios wouldn't even have been a thing, so people would have still been listening to just normal radio or CDs. And these guys,
so 20 years ago then,
literally 2002. Yeah, so I was 8, so 2002, so 21 years ago. And I can remember like these 3 cars, might have been like a Fiesta and a Corsa and a Nova or something like that there, and they were all listening to Benny Benassi's Satisfaction.
Oh.
But like hearing all 3 of them, it was like at the same time playing the music, I was like,
did that give you satisfaction?
I was very satisfied. Oh no, I was 8. No, that's creepy, man. No. Anyway, but so that was one, like I can remember that, and then like
to be fair, I forgot that you said you were 8 before anybody says anything.
Moving on. So, but I can remember like a red over black twin cam.
Nice.
Like, nice. Revving, like bum 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 bum, just up and down the prom, and then you looked and people were doing a conga line along the wall at like down at like the Crescent, the duck ponds, where the play park is, and I was like, this is like an 8-year-old guy, I was like kid. I don't know, I probably ended up crying or something with the noise and all going about, like, but I can remember that. I was like,
so do you mind the time that me, yourself, and Jack went down to the prom? We were at Jack's house.
Were we?
We were at Jack's house. I'd never been to Jack's house before. So we were at Jack's house, and then we left, and it was probably about 8:30, 9 o'clock on a Sunday.
But was it the middle of summer?
Because I drove. Now, this is how keen I was for the port that weekend. I drove from, like, the girlfriend's home house, which was Calvin, to the port. Over, is it Greencastle, over like 6 towns, Dipperstown? No.
Oh, horrible road.
Oh, Jesus.
Horrible road.
Oh, completely. Especially with like EP3s, they have no exhaust tunnel.
Well, yours probably had no exhaust by the time you went over the 6 towns road.
Couldn't go over 30 miles an hour.
That's a bad road.
But anyway, and mind us going down the prom, we made some noise that night.
See, yeah, because Alteza had a very, very fast limiter, whereas the Civic was just a bit louder. And I can remember like the pair of us, so I can remember like literally, so I remember sitting like just going down the prom, just sitting bouncing off the limiter, and then as soon as I started doing it, you just heard you, the Civic then behind. I just remember like turning around and looking at you with this big like childish grin on my face, like, oh, that was only like maybe about 3 years ago. So we were like what, 26?
No, it wasn't even. It was
2 years ago, maybe.
Two years ago, yeah.
Oh man.
Like,
I can remember just
like Jack's made quite a lot of noise because obviously anti-lag and that.
Yeah.
And then yours was the nice quick limiter, and then and your side probably heard intake noise.
No, I like heard the limiter, but the thing is, your Civic is your Civic's very loud. Like my Alteza, I always thought was quite loud, so probably shouldn't be glorifying this. So we'll just say that we reached the max speed limit of the road, which was 40 miles an hour.
Yes,
but
of course.
Me and you come off the roundabout. I can remember outside McDonald's in Coleraine.
Yeah.
And we took off second gear side by side. And I didn't realise that I was sitting in the limiter in second gear and had to change up. And I was wondering why you were starting to pull. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, fuck, that thing's gained an extra couple of horsepower. But it's because your car was so loud, I couldn't hear that I was sitting revving ahead in second gear. Because your car was so loud. Because I had the window down, all you could hear is, dun, 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 of the Civic. And I was just like, he's pulling. Fuck, I need another gear. Till 40 miles an hour.
Yes.
Yep, to 40 miles an hour. And
to be fair, no, we were in first gear, because first gear to second gear, you're probably doing about 40 miles an hour. So you're stuck in first gear.
That's what it was, yeah. But I can remember that, like, just that was coming back. And then, what else? Like, us sitting, like, so there was that. And then I can remember, I don't think you were about for this one either, but there's one night, me and Killian went down in the Sierra. And this was back when it had, so at the start of 2017.
When it worked?
Well, so in 2016, in 2016, I had a bit of a damage with the head.
Is that why you drunk so much coolant?
Yeah. So, like, I
literally gave like a tenner for 2 litres of coolant, and we went go-karting, and you decided to drive that car behind us. So you're like, oh shit, I've got no, like you drove it there and you're like, oh fuck, I've got no coolant, shit.
It went through so much water.
And then I was like, here, and I was like, took the 2 litres, like, okay, right. Good job, I don't need that,
and
then you got home and it was like, oh shit.
Yeah. I literally, so I was driving that car like to Portstewart and back over the summer. So I was working on the building site at the time. So I was jumping in a van in Portstewart. So I was only driving it like a mile every day, and it just worked out that by the time like you got to Portstewart, it was fine. And then I remember then...
So you didn't get a chance to warm up?
Well, but then I can remember it was like, right, Michael, we need you now to go and meet this fella in Mahara. And I was just like, fuck. It was like, literally, it was like, you got to Mahara and then you had to, like, you were going home for work and it was like, bonnet, catch, pop bonnet, Ballygoon water. and then it's like, fine. By the time you get home, just the temperature hand was just starting to go and you were like sweltering. But anyway.
So is that partly why you engine swapped? Because the other engine was so unreliable?
So in 2017 then, I then got the head and all done up and the car never lifted the hand again. Apart from when you were stuck in traffic for a lifetime because the switch to the fans...
Did it work?
No, it broke. And I can remember one night me and Killian went to the port and we were both sitting and I think if we had had the opportunity, and this is going to sound so bad, it's going to say we'd have both stripped naked. The two men sitting in a car naked at the port probably wouldn't be the best look. But anyway,
no.
And Killian was like, fuck me, this thing's so warm. And I was sitting with the heater up full blast to like try and keep it cool. And I was like, Killian's as simple as this: is there a wee boil or the car boils? And I was like, I like the car more than I like you. So
I'd be like, fair enough.
I can mind us just going up and down, and it was literally just like fanning ourselves because there's just so much traffic, and you're just sitting there, and the car doesn't get a chance to actually move forward. And like the second then you actually got on any cool air, like you were fine. The temperature hand just went, but
did it make that noise at all?
Yeah, noise effects included. Like. But like, so then I got the fan switch in, and then things were never lifted the hand again after that.
You know what? So just a wee side note from the port, and what we said earlier. You know what we really need to fix in this here?
The door.
Yes,
I have.
We went to England to a car show, and to get into the car. Now this is ruining the security aspect of it, but anyway. So you had to open the back door. Reach across to the front door, pull the handle.
Yeah. Security feature.
It was being the worst fucking thing
ever. It is, no, I have new rods sitting for both the driver and passenger door. Passenger one's over there, and the driver's one's lying out in the P100.
Oh, fair enough.
So that's
do you want to know what else is very good at the port?
What's this?
You could park in the grass. Well, you used to be able to.
You used to be able to park in the grass. Can't do that anymore. I think they stopped doing that in 2015. They put all the barriers up.
That was the year, I can't mind who all went actually, but...
It was the year that all the 306... No, it was
all
the 306s went home.
We were all of us went together, and then, but we went down like stupid early.
Oh, 2016? Did we go down in Adam's car?
2015 actually.
Right. I was in the 207.
Yes,
I got the best spot at the port.
I'm dying to get that spot.
Yes.
I was like...
Because Rodney McKnight had it the year beforehand, and Rodney McKnight's South Sirocco, the green one, was absolutely class. That was when it was in the SNAs, and it looked absolutely deadly.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want that spot next year.
And you got it.
I did. Most hyped I've ever felt in my entire life.
You're like, I'm cool.
That was Easter Sunday 2015, that's right. There was quite a lot of us, I think, drove down.
Well, personally, I think that was the last time it was actually really good, because, like, don't get me wrong, you had the barriers and all that, right? But it's not the same anymore.
After that, it was just, like, you got police and stuff, but like after Cruise for Cancer that time in 2015, and they completely wrecked the place, suddenly the MOT centre's just open, and you see it every year now. Easter Sunday, the MOT centre's open. You know, like, you see it every year. They have the mobile ramp in Lansdowne. Yeah, like, so like back in like 2014, like, I can remember us like...
Do you know what ruined all that though? Like, partly.
What?
Like, now obviously it's been a great tool for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, of course.
But it totally gives off when it's going to happen and all that, and just sort of Facebook. But make events out of it.
Yeah.
Because, actually, on a side note, do you mind the Paul Walker cruise, right? First year after he passed away.
Banbridge or Junction 1.
Junction 1. It was really good.
That's probably one of the best nights of my life.
The year after that, was not like 16,000 people going to it.
Yeah.
And then they absolutely crapped themselves.
Well, what happened was somebody in a Corsa actually drove round. Did you not know that? That's why there was such a big crackdown with it. Because someone actually went and like drove their car round And Junction 1 was like, we don't
It would
mind
have
you.
to be a Corsa, wouldn't it?
It's like, we don't mind you using, we don't mind. I was told it was a Corsa, but it could have been any generic, could have been a Star or Clio or anything, but I was told it was a Corsa. And I could have been told lies, and I might literally be telling complete bullshit right now. But, like, so Junction 1 was pretty much like, yeah, look, we're happy for you to, like, have your cruise, but after that, no. So, like, I remember they tried to organise all our events, and it was literally met, with, like, a police barricade.
Well, I came in going to it the year after, and they had security on it.
Yeah.
Say if you want to go to the cinema and you're in a done-up car, like any car with fancy wheels, lowered, anything like that at all.
You weren't getting in.
You weren't getting in at all. Which is kind of mad. And then they ended up, it was Tesco's car park, and the other wee one that's beside were like...
Extravision used to be.
Yes. So they used all them, and they basically like put under them at a standstill. There was never going to be 16,000 people going to it. Because I think there was people from America, and everyone just going for the crack of it.
Fucking hell. I can remember going to Banbridge the year it happened. And I remember, like, literally... No, it wasn't Banbridge, it was Sprucefield.
Yeah.
And, like, literally every car park in Sprucefield was rammed out. And you were literally driving along the roads, and, like, it was just cars parked up along the sides of the roads, and it was madness.
It's probably because of them there that, like, events, organising cruises and all that there have now sort of been cracked on and stuff.
I think a lot of it's, to be honest, people putting pictures of someone doing, like, a burnout in the prom.
Because, like, I seen a video, actually, of... stuff happening years ago, and the policeman was just like, as long as he does it in the car park and not on the road, I can do nothing.
But now, I think there's probably more obligation for them to act. I don't want to turn this into like a police shaming podcast or whatever, like, but at the end of the day, they all have their job to do, and I suppose the way they're probably looking at it is, but if we didn't check that car, and that young boy was driving down the road, and his spring fell out, and he crashed, and he killed someone, that's on us for not checking. And
fair enough. Yes,
I get where they're coming from, but at the end of the day, like.
On a side note, sorry, back to main topic. Portrush, Portstewart.
Oh, Portstewart.
Portrush early, Portstewart after.
No, well, yeah, okay. I've just always been a bigger fan of Portstewart because that's where, like, I grew up going on holidays. Like, I never would have went to Portrush. Like, I wasn't in Barry's until I was like 15. Yeah, I know. So, like, but we always would have went to Portstewart because, same as yourself, being from a dairy farm background, the only time we got away was a Sunday night. Dad would have finished up early on a Sunday night, and we just got as far as Portstewart.
You had a better dairy farm, because on my side of it, it was just like, what the fuck would you want to go there for?
No, Dad, like, to get in the way, to be fair, we would have went to the port.
For no sisters, I think it was her 30th birthday, we ended up going to the beach, and then we went into the town afterwards.
Yes.
And I was like in Morelli's, and all I heard was the anti-lag and evos and that, and I thought that was deadly. So that is, well, I suppose that's what made me, because they always said the cars at the port are unreal. And to be fair, even at that stage, like, they were class.
I can remember being like 14, 15, and this was back then when we had the caravan. And so we were going down then on, like, say, a weekend or whatever, and I was like, sort of like saying to the boys at the caravan, I was like all the rest of them, was obviously there's a club of us by that point.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, Paz, we have to go down here, and every Sunday night without fail over the summer, if I was in Portstewart, like, we were going to that. We were going to down the town, like, in, like, I can remember at that stage, every, like, time I was down, without fail, there was a Lipo. I think I've talked about this already. There's a yellow Lipo.
Yeah.
And then there's a silver Bora behind it.
Okay.
And the silver Bora had a set, like, 20-inch TSW, not Venoms, but they kind of looked like Bentley wheels.
Okay.
Like big flat face, or they nearly look like Rolls Royce wheels or something. Like, if I showed them to you, you'd go, yeah, I know the wheel. But anyway,
yeah, fair enough.
It was like oversized wheels, but this thing must have had a subwoofer or something on it, because I can remember him playing, like, music and just the whole thing going kind of like, I know we talked about subwoofers a couple of weeks ago, like, in a couple of podcasts ago even, but and I can remember being like, so
yeah,
like,
you like your 207,
but like every time I was going down, like, I was like watching out for that car, and then that was back. There were still kind of traces of, like, a bit of max power, and I remember having I have a picture, like, I think I still probably have it on, if I went on my Google Drive, because I like always had a memory card in my phone, and I always, like, update stuff.
Yes.
If I went on my Google Drive, I could probably find it for you. And I was like, a Clio, but it had, like, 3 exhausts, like a dual exit, but, like, 3.
Is this all max power days then?
Well, I would have said at that stage, max power was maybe phasing out, and that was back then when the cleaner stuff was starting to come in. So, like, for instance, whenever I was like 8, you know, that was back when boys still had mad neons, and I'm not like, I don't think you'd have had the insane show cars, but you would have had cars with body kits and neons and all that there.
Yeah, of course.
But a lot of them cars were still quite high. You know, they didn't really lower them.
I saw it was coilovers on.
If like, even coilovers, a lot of them
20-inch wheels on like a Nova, and you'd been like, that thing's decked.
Yeah,
and it wasn't actually decked. It was just a big body kit on it.
Then after that, you kind of come under the whole resurgence of like the low and just licking tar, jammed and screwed kind of era. You know, where suddenly really you started seeing all the 306s driving about and them decked, and then the next thing the Boras and all that were following suit. So I remember kind of that bit of a transition where you'd see a lot of cars would have been not low but a bit mad looking, and then suddenly everything was low. And then by about 2013, whenever I started like driving to the port, or 2012, it was like everything was like buried. By that stage, like everything had to be decked.
Oh, I know, totally. Like sort of around that time, it was all about, you know, the Vags.
But that stage, yeah, definitely like Mark 4s, Mark 5s, Mark 6s were like the, you know. But the king of the port has to be the twin cam. Yeah.
Like, I was only ever in a twin cam once at the port, and you, like, so yes, always loved them before that. Don't get me wrong, like every young Irish lad. And you loved them, limiter and all that there, the John Speed and that. But being in one at the port, I was like, I get why people... What, like you could have been in a Lamborghini and not got a fifth of the attention.
Yeah, I well believe that.
Every young cub between
just looking
Portstewart, totally. That was all you got. But like, I don't know, that probably one of the cars with the most character in it.
Absolutely, but they're iconic.
Oh, like
what else would you expect?
Yes,
but it doesn't. Even the fact that, and again, similar with Sierras and even Type R's to an extent, like they all look the same. But they look the same because that's the style.
True,
You don't go to see, like, don't get me wrong, I like being different and all that there. But
you do.
But there is just something cool about, like, a twin cam buried on a set of Revos or a set of mini lights.
Oh, completely.
Should I say super lights maybe? Or it's the same as a Sierra Sapphire and Escort Cosworth wheels. It just works. Or a Civic on Type R wheels. Like, it just works.
Yeah.
So, like, I would say if you were in a madder twin cam, like something that was fucking crazy looking, wouldn't get as much attention as your white over black or red over black on a set of Revos.
Very true.
I think because it doesn't have that same.
To be fair, like
there's a twin cam, like as in there's a twin cam as we know it.
The other thing I would say about the port, like I suppose you'd say, would you call it iconic for us? Like the port as a place to go and all that crap, right?
Absolutely iconic. So, yeah, definitely.
So, where else would you go to find like Mark II escorts going for it's the place sort of that appeals to anybody.
Yeah,
because like you have the aspect of, yes, you know, whenever you're getting older and that, you drive to it, park up, you go for a bit of a walk or whatever, and it lets maybe other ones maybe come out to enjoy and look around your car and all that. And then the younger ones just lap after lap after lap.
Sure, even your brother, Jared will be like, oh, fucking young cubs and all. I've spotted Jared down the prom a couple of Sunday nights there, sitting like in an ice cream watching everybody go by. Like,
oh, he has. The amount of times I have met him on the prom.
Aye.
Is kind of mad.
But the thing is, right, see, and I suppose maybe this is, correct me if I'm wrong here, but if you're, I don't know, in your 40s, driving about Marfelt on your own on a Friday night in a nice car, people are going to look.
People are going to say things.
Aye, people are going to
not mentioning this podcast, but they will say
people
things.
Are going to be like,
okay,
but
like if you're in a C63 and you're going for a Chinese, fair enough. But like if you're
lapping your C63 round town,
people
are kind of like, you know, you're 40.
Like realistically, you do, you know, you go in and you go for one lap. There, oh, that's nice. Lord, there was a C63 in the field tonight.
Yeah,
or a Lamborghini or whatever.
But like you know, you'll go in and get your Chinese. You might do one sneak about lap to see what's there, and that's that. But like, whereas at the port, you could be any age driving anything.
Oh, totally.
And people just won't care. Like, There's
like the rally, right? So there. Sorry to butt in again, but the Letterkenny last year, there was like there was, I'd say a fella maybe in his 40s or so, right? Wife and the two young cubs in behind him. I was just like,
but that is
cool. You'd swear that somebody knew we were doing a podcast for just after hearing an AS200.
It's Alexis. I think he's about to do the R Crossroads. Yep.
Oh.
Has he spun out?
Oh.
So I don't know if you can. I don't think that people hear this in the back, but if you can, some man's currently diffing my Crossroads. And
your camera microphones might pick it up.
Maybe if I.
Oh, clutch.
So for those of you who don't know, which is, I don't know how many people listen to this, probably 3. But if you don't know me personally, I live at a staggered crossroads.
Very rough part of the road, all the same.
Ballinese the one at Claddy's fine, but the Ballinese one's dog rough. So even if I'm gonna go to Mexico outside my house, you always go to the Claddy one. Sometimes got to test the clutch.
Yes,
yeah.
Scientific purposes. Scientific
purposes, just to see, does the car handle okay and safely? Can I exit out? Fine.
Unfortunately, haven't been able to test for scientific purposes much.
Not much, no. Anyway, but that's all. Yeah, Mexico. I live in Mexico.
Hence why there is a wee moustache. Says Ford Emblem.
I forgot about that, actually. Anyway, before we were interrupted by your man deciding to throw hoops outside my Crossroads, which pleasant surprise. Here we are. I think I've half an idea who it could be, to be fair. We were talking about the port. We're going to keep talking about the port. Anyway, we were saying about how old people. Yeah, you were saying the man, the wife, and had the 2 kids in the back.
Yes, no, I thought that was really cool.
But do you not remember? So there's a white 306 going about. I think it's the same car, but it used to be owned by an old guy. And this guy was 50, driving through Portstewart in completely original Phase 1 306 white.
Okay,
the Mecca of D-turbos.
Yes.
Well, that's up there. So really clean white Phase 1 old boy driving about in a standard car. Where else would you get it? Your mom was playing. Your mom was playing to his audience. He knew he was seeing, and probably then, if that was nowadays, someone would probably go and offer him $7,000 for it.
Oh, totally.
But
totally.
But you'd see that, and then you'd see a lot of people, older guys driving about in Nissan GTRs.
Oh, even Lamborghinis.
You do see Lamborghinis, Bentleys, Porsches, and you're kind of and then I think this was maybe in one of the outtakes or a blooper. Didn't make one of our podcasts, but I suppose that's kind of for me, I would see a Lamborghini or something. It doesn't really do it for me.
No, it doesn't.
Don't get me wrong. Here, deadly cars. Probably will never own one in my life because even if I did come into money, I would somehow, that thing would just go. And just, yeah.
Don't get me wrong, they're unreal. I'm sure they sound good and all that.
Oh, technological masterpieces, but
they're just not it.
Yeah, I agree.
They just don't, I don't know what it is, and it does sound completely stupid. But I would have a twin cam over everything. Now, I've never owned a twin cam, but I would the only car I was supposed to say now because they've raised so much value R34. But if you see one of them at the port, people do lose their crap.
Oh yeah, but if I seen a Lamborghini and then a chaser. I look at the Lambo and go, oh, there's a Lambo. And then I go, fuck, there's a chaser. Unreal. Look at that thing. Oh, he's way by again.
Take 2.
No, I didn't stop this time. You're there's a chaser, deadly. Or anything else, a Laurel or anything, basically big body.
Laurels aren't very popular.
But they're cool as fuck.
No, I didn't say they weren't cool, but they're
not. They don't have the same. They don't have the same.
They're like the Nissan Chaser.
Then you've got the Gloria as well and the Safari. To be honest, there was that
I have no clue what they are.
there was that many Japanese like big body cars back in the day. Like,
were they all like taxi wagons?
Probably a lot of them would have been, yeah. Like, we'll maybe do a big body Nissan, Jap, Lexus, Toyota podcast at some point.
Yeah,
but and then maybe we'll actually know what we're talking about before we talk about it. Because the minute I just know Chaser and Cresta, and you get a JZX 100 and a JZX 90 and a 110, and after that,
the 110 is such a Toyota Avensis.
Oh, except you'd rather have an Avensis.
Totally. Yes, totally.
Instead of a Avensis, you'd rather a Carina. Anyway, moving on. But yeah, another memory. One of my memories actually from the port of like 306s in general.
Yeah.
It's not 306s being 306s, but it's like literally a fella was hanging out of the back window of a 306, just so Family Guy, just shouting, "Hot Scratcher!" at everybody. And just remember, Blaze Yellow 306. That's how, like, that has imprinted in my head. So Blaze Yellow 306 on stealth. Phase 2. That's how much that moment's burned into my head, as I can remember what the fella was driving. It was his passenger. His passenger was stone full, just hanging out of the window, going, "Hot Scratcher!" at everybody.
Or
fucking hilarious.
To be fair, the other thing was, I suppose you could say, the prom.
Yes.
In the evening times, for some crack.
Do you ever like
the ones shouting out the abuse?
That's
the megaphones. Oh my god!
So the traffic lights. But then, like, I can remember,
if I had a $5 for every time we went sport or
let her up. I remember it was that same night me and you were down in the Altazza and the Type R, and like I thought it's normally just young kids who stand and shout at people either going or let her up or.
No, these were slightly older than children.
Yeah, it was like their mother shouting in the window at me going, "Go on, rev it!" And I was like, "Are you not a bit old to be egging us on?" Like, as I was sitting on the limiter going,
"Oh, you were no better.
No better at all." But
to be fair, also as well, the port is probably the only place, well, one of the only places that it is totally acceptable to go on the limiter everywhere.
Oh yeah. If your car has a good limiter, and you're not on the limiter, you need to reevaluate your life.
Yeah.
As simple as that. If your car has, I don't know, it's one of the commandments apparently, if your car has an anti-lag switch, thou must use it.
Very true, very true.
I don't make the rules, like, it's just,
like the port,
just one of
Later Kenny for the rally weekend as well.
Oh yeah, well, again,
we'll discuss that again.
Rally will get discussed. Don't worry about that one. But like, see, like some of the stuff you see, like at the port, like you would go to a car show and, like, don't get me wrong, the car shows and all are great, obviously too. Like,
yeah,
but like some of the stuff you see at the port, like boys would like, and some of it absolutely class stuff, and boys would be like, "I wouldn't take that to a show," and it's like, Chief, I think it's a show winner.
Yes,
like some stuff is unbelievable.
Just as you say that, so the port sort of appeals to the ones that could not give a flying toss about shows.
Yeah, that's a fair appraisal.
You know, they'd rather just go drive about, lap, all that crack, instead of just going and like parking up and watching and looking at it.
But I'll be honest, like when I first started driving, like I had no intention of ever going to shows. Like I was never caring about shows.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, I have my wee goals. Like, I love a magazine feature. But
have you got a magazine feature?
Yeah.
Have you had money?
I've had 2.
Oh well, there you
go. Yeah. Just if anybody's actually listened to this, fast forward 17th of March. That's on it. The same car that's sitting on the left right now.
Yeah. So at the minute it's fit only for the left, to be honest.
Shit, to be honest. But yeah, so but like I always just kind of like I'd love to have my car in a magazine, but like
to be fair for that day, sure. I ended up
driving the P100.
Yes,
the photographer hanging out the back trying to take photos of my window.
Yeah,
in Mexico. hanging out the back of the top of the P100, like like that with a camera. Chris was like trying to get all the photos, and literally us going up the road, and I'm just
And the P100, before it, it's very bouncy, and he was like how bouncy, and we're like there's no give
it's
at all.
pretty bouncy.
And then he was
bouncy.
like, I'm not going to do an English accent or a Scottish accent, but like, yeah, no, it was very,
very, very bouncy.
He definitely said like out of 1,000 photos, there was just a
I
few.
think there was about like 5 actually.
Useful.
Because me and him looked through it then after, and he was like, yep, that's blurry. That's blurry. That's blurry. That's blurry. It's just like, there's a here.
Useful.
Yeah. But,
no, there's nothing in the ground, Michael.
I thought you were pointing at someone just going, oh, and I was like, what the fuck am I looking at here? But yeah, so, kind of, I had no intention of going to car shows or any of that caper. Like, I just wanted to have my done-up car at the port. That's all I wanted. As like, when I was 17, 16, 15, 14, I was like, I'm going to have a car, I'm going to have it lowered, I'm going to have it on wheels, and I'm going to be at the port on a Sunday. And that was as important as getting my GCSEs and A-levels. Like I literally, that was up. I was like, yeah, it's just something I have to achieve in my life. Like, I was just, but honestly, that sounds sad. Maybe like, no,
probably would do, but no, it's true. Like,
I like to think the people listening to this podcast sort of know that. But like, it's just, this is what I want to do. Like, I have to have my car at the port, and yeah, I mean, it's just nice. It's just nice to be there, and
the port on a real good, unreal sunny day.
Oh,
2 windows down, sunglasses on. It is fucking class. Like,
but you try and tell someone, what'd you do? Sat in traffic, drove up and down the prom 5 times.
Because an answer
went home.
Well, where did I was, and I was fucking stuck in traffic for 5 hours.
I mean, who goes to the beach on Easter Sunday?
Wasn't like 5 hours just to move 100 fucking meters? Do you mind back whenever you had the 207 and you had the 3 SDMs on it? We literally moved fucking 50 yards.
Yeah,
in 4 hours.
And that was me going the
we were
shortcut.
fit to go and get a chip. You were actually fit to park the car in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
Lock it.
Yeah.
Go and get a chip and come back.
Yeah.
Went
to Superfry, came back, car stuck in the same place. Yeah. That was 2014.
That was very, like, yeah, it was class.
That was a good year. 2015 was a great year too. 2016, first year I had the Sarah down. It was fine as well because it
was wet. It was.
That was a wet year. Yeah,
it was. Yes,
and
it was in the pits that year as well.
Yes,
because you were not allowed to
go near Lansdowne.
Yeah, well,
I don't even think I went to. I don't think I even went to Portrush that year. I think I just stayed in Portstewart.
During COVID. Oh, that was you didn't go down that year. I did. So I drove anyway. Up to Portrush, and I happened to come upon the police. I think it was traffic branch that was doing it, and he was like, "Let me see your license, right?" And he was like, "What business do you have here?" And the first thing that came in my head was, "Just come up for an ice cream." They just went, "Turn around, go home,
go home."
So naturally, I turned around and I just went to another car park, and then after a while, just gave up. But he was not a nice person, whereas the other side of it went, but again, no bother.
Yeah,
because they didn't really care. Like,
some people, I suppose, were just out. Again, it comes down to, I suppose, if they want to do their job, basically. Yeah, which I suppose you can't really blame them for either. But
no, definitely.
I didn't go down during. I haven't been to an Easter Sunday now at the port. I think since 2017.
There was 1 year I didn't bother going. 2017 I didn't bother going. I went to that show down, the barbecue down at Block 51 or something like that there? No, it wasn't Block 51.
Oh,
down at the docks
or something.
Down at the docks or whatever.
Aye.
Just because there was no point, because the other place you just felt like you were going to get pulled and something.
Yeah, but that was back, because that was around the time, and that was 2016, 2017, and that's when the police and branch and all started coming out in true force.
Yeah.
That's back when it became like that, as we said earlier before that, the police were there, you didn't act the maggot, you'd have been okay. If your car looked really illegal, you probably were going to get pulled, but for the majority of it. But then now, they obviously have the opening at the port where people have to get, if you're coming into Lansdowne and your car looks a bit questionable,
they'll put
you
check on it.
Like, they didn't have that back 2013, 2014, 2015, even 2016. There was a bigger police presence in 2016. Because I had a not so open diff in the Sierra, and I can remember taking fear.
A good LSD.
A very good LSD.
Very tight LSD.
Good old 10 rod two-way. And I remember then I was like, no, like, yeah, because I was still had fresh wounds from getting completely battered by them the year before at the MOT centre. So I was like, nah, like, so I put an open diff on it, but never probably would have got away with fine anyway. But like, that was back then when they really started to kick in and started to come in hard with like laying down the law. And look, I get they have a job to do. I understand that. I don't know if it. Like, I think at this day and age, if you're going up to the port in a really, really ridiculously illegal car,
you're only asking for it.
And you get pulled, like, you're only asking for trouble. But then if you're going up and you happen to be in a nice, like, say a Mark II Leon with stretch tires, like, I don't think you deserve to have your day ruined. But if you're going up on something that clearly looks like, you know, limo tints all around, like, decked on a set of standard wheels and not washed, then yeah, like, you've
no real argument.
You're asking for it. Like, you're just asking for it. And like, don't get me wrong, whenever I get done that time, like, I was straight in Facebook going, everybody, you know, like, bunch of fucking Trumps, blah 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 blah. Like, I was like, you know, I was mad about it.
I held back commenting all the time.
Yeah, I was
like, told ya.
like, you know, and I was raging about the whole thing. Like, if I had just driven my car past them at a normal height,
if that woman
I'd have been fine.
Seen your Sierra,
yeah,
she would die.
That's the thing. Like, you know, that's kind of. Although I never got to the port in the Sierra last summer, because normally any time I drove it to a show. Normally on the way back home from a show, it broke something, so never got the chance to get to the port. Otherwise, it would have been there.
So what you're saying is it's fit to break, honestly.
It's just fit to broke.
Fit to break, honestly.
Fit to break, honestly. Yeah, yeah. That's gonna stick, and I hate the fact that's gonna fucking stick. No, no. Also, yes, but no. You're proud of yourself for that one, aren't you?
In true fashion, I'll just say this. Just keep up with there now, to be honest. I've looked at that number plate a lot.
And it's never, well, fair enough, no. That's quite a good one, actually. Fit to break.
Even better. Fit to break happiness.
You're fucking breaking mine as we speak. But, yeah, like, that's the thing. Like, and don't get me wrong, like, I wouldn't say, yes, the camber was a bit questionable. But, like, you know, I met the police loads of times in that car and they didn't even bat an eyelid. Like,
Ballybogey Lane taking it to get it.
They give me some look. But that's because I still had, like, the gold chrome window tints and all that at that time. And it wasn't painted.
Yeah, and looked very...
very illegal.
Very rough.
Yeah, because it had all, like, the primer around it. And
yes.
Yeah.
They're probably like, oh, he's going to get that sorted. I hope he's going to get that sorted.
But that was during the Northwest 200, so they probably were just focusing more on the traffic coming, like, probably bikers going by at, like, 200 mile an hour or something. Which, and to be fair, it was pissing down rain, so if you're going to do that in the Ballybogey Lane, fair play to you. But, yeah, that's right. I remember going by them, and I remember, like, sort of driving past and going...
Wednesday I was on the phone to you going, nope, they're not following us. Nope, they're not following us. Because you had me drive behind you. Because...
Well, I was leaving at 2 Stevies.
Obviously, you need a lift, but... Like, it was, you know...
Yeah. 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 It was, I remember just being like, that's, yeah. But, like, that was one of the first times I'd taken it out in the really bad rain. So, like, when I first drove the car, it was on...
Do you mind you went over the wee bridge at Kilray and you're like, holy fuck.
Yeah. So,
and I was like, you weren't really that, you know, that sideways. Oh, I felt it anyway.
Yeah, because literally it was, I'd driven it in greasy roads when I left at the car, and then the first night I drove
proper wet.
It was proper wet, but it was pissing it down the night we took it to get it painted.
When was the last time you could open your front door properly?
2017.
Wow.
It used to be you could open the passenger door until this year, until the rod fell out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right.
And then forgot to put it in during the time before building the car for Donegal.
Fair enough.
But this is not a Michael Sarah podcast. It's the port. But to be fair, we've spoke a right bit about the port. So we'll round off. So yeah, I guess something we're on podcast 4. Still haven't figured out what the fuck we're doing yet.
I haven't said fuck all in this podcast, I feel like, but it's just
You've said plenty.
fair enough.
But plenty of things to hurt my feelings. Anyway, so we're kind of trying different things like every week. Kind of, what do we talk about? Like, do we, until we find some sort of thing that's
we're literally
winging it.
Oh, completely.
Yeah,
so if it looks like it's totally unstructured,
it is.
Yeah, oh, totally. And the other thing
is.
about it would be you could say is like they say all podcasts are kind of a mess.
Oh, this is a shambles.
But it's the fact that we don't edit. You don't.
I try to avoid editing, like, yeah, because it helps better when you flow. And I know
podcast 2 took 16 hours for you to edit.
Podcast 2 took 19 hours to edit, Conor. Podcast 3 took 7 because I was more efficient with how I structured the whole thing. Plus camera number 3, big help.
True.
But anyway, so kind of wanted to see, instead of originally what we were doing was maybe trying to cram 2 topics in.
We just seen how it would go this time, and we've talked a lot
on the port, which we kind of expected. So what we originally were doing was we were trying to see if we could fit like 2 sort of segments together, but like we tried that podcast 2, it left it really, really long. Podcast 3, we sort of did it as well, but kind of sort of was a bit more shite talk, which is ended up being the name of the last podcast.
Completely.
But I suppose to draw this in, I suppose one of the things I really just wanted to ask was, did you see anything interesting this week? Even YouTube or anything, like just what goes on in your head?
To be honest, my week has been filled with, this is for the farmers out there, calving.
You have been doing a lot of calving this week.
Calving. Fuck cows.
Not literally, but figuratively.
Yeah, no, calving. Holy God. It's been a busy week, so it has.
How many cesareans have you had?
For dairy cows now.
Yeah.
We've had 3 this year so far.
Fucking hell.
It was an easy calving. Limousine bull we got. Yes. Was it fuck?
Aye. Well, that's going to be hard on a Frisian cow, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Lucky you didn't try and carve a Charlie or a Belgian Blue or something out of it.
Ironically, some of the cows actually were AI'd with Belgian Blue last year.
Seriously?
And they were grand.
Really?
Well, to an extent, like they were grand.
Did you not think you were glutton for punishment by getting them AI'd with Belgian Blue, knowing that they're a hard calf?
Well, you see, I think some of them AI straws were lying there a while, and we completely hadn't a clue. To an extent, what all they were like. We're just like, oh, well, there's a blue straw, stick it in that there, because she's not really, you're not wanting a replacement heifer out of her. No, just this calving has been mad this week, and we have like 10 to calve in the next week and a half.
Jesus.
Well, to be honest, look, in some context, to some people that's probably not a lot, because obviously your suckler men out there starting to calve down a lot now, and lambing starting to come up. But my God, whenever you're trying to milk and juggle 9 to 5,
juggle a job and
cows,
worry about calving cows, it's a lot more. If you're home full time,
not too bad, yeah. But
if you're home full time, it'd definitely be a lot easier. But
it's a disaster.
Well, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. So I was sitting outside the A29 filling station in work yesterday.
Yes.
In work, so on my break, took the P100 a wee lap up the road. And because it's my daily at the minute, so took the P100 to run up the road then to the A29 filling station, and that's sort of bit like as you come off the bottom roundabout in Cookstown heading towards Dungannon, and see them in a lorries.
Oh, I know where you're at now. I thought it was
that come up that there's a big straight road and there's a bit of an incline. So all you hear is like all these lorries with like the side pipes, and all you can hear is it just sounds unreal.
Oh, bounty.
We got lorries. We got lorries fitted in the end. We did talk about lorries. We've been teasing it now for 4 episodes. We've finally got lorries.
Yes. But, well, the one thing I have to say about lorries, I know fuck all about them, but they do look well, certain ones.
Most I know is whenever me and Conor Kelly played a bit of Euro Truck Simulator. Well, do you know what else I met? Met a really heading to... So, yeah, I forgot this earlier. Had to go to Conor Sport to get braided brake lines.
Oh.
So, coming out of Ballinderry, met a 390T two-wheel drive with a slurry tanker on. I think it was maybe like a 1500 Abbey.
That'd have been tight, Paul.
Well, it was coming downhill. But
not going uphill.
Do you know why? I think I'd rather go uphill than downhill with that tanker in the back of that tractor.
Not necessarily, I don't think.
Weight pusher down, really. Two-wheel drive, like.
I suppose you don't have four-wheel braking.
Aye.
Well, I suppose he probably could drive, and well, I suppose only do 30k as well.
Yeah. Well, maybe slightly more. But, yeah. So I thought that was quite cool. We two-wheel drive 390T with a tanker. Thought that was quite nice.
I actually recently joined a slurry tanker Facebook group.
I'm going to join that.
I have to say, like...
We used to have a Star back in the day.
Didn't everybody?
Yeah, well, they're literally made across, like, just out the road from...
It's
between your house and Marfelt.
That's right, yes.
The Star Factory. SDC has it now.
There you go.
Isn't it? I think. Someone might come on and correct me with that.
I can't mean entirely, but... So I work with a fella.
Yes.
And he was the first person I've ever heard to have a 2,000-gallon Star slurry tanker. Didn't know what they were a thing at all.
There's a...
They must have been the biggest size they made back in the day.
No, they didn't. There's a fella from Marbo direction showed me a picture on one of the fleet pages I'm on.
Yeah.
And 190.
Okay.
190. 3,000-gallon Star.
Right? What?
Yeah.
Big single axle or double?
Double. Tandem.
Funny, I seen a 599 on that Facebook group with a 2,000-gallon Star on it.
Yeah.
With a boom and all on it. Like you know the tires, the weird looking tires that go to 1,300.
Yeah.
You know the two axles with them on it. I was like, yeah, that's it. That is cool looking.
That's the thing. Like back then, like
that was massive.
Yeah. But like, if it wasn't 3,000, it's definitely 2,500. It's a tandem axle. I'll find the picture. I might even, if I get time, I'll post it.
Aye, in the video, yeah.
Aye, I'll try and get it into the video.
That's mental.
Crazy. And apparently, like, that was... She pulled it well. So, you giving off shit about my 110 not being able to pull a 2050 in the last podcast.
It was a joke.
Took it a little bit too personally.
Like you do always.
Wee bit.
Like Tuesday when your car didn't go well.
Shut up, Conor. It's so like for that, but that's a savage pull.
It is.
Like, that is tight.
Would it be turbo 190 probably?
I think she was.
Because them like a 11090 turbo is serious good power to weight.
Serious good power to weight, but the back end's too light.
Probably yes, but it's like we had a slope nose 5713 SL.
Yes,
and when we changed to the 6715S, I would have said the 5.7 because the power to weight.
Yeah.
She could have been set up slightly before we got her.
Possibly, yeah.
The thing was an animal. The only obviously it lacked a few of the extras that you get standard on a 6715.
She's smoky. Your 5.7 was smoky.
6.7's very smoky now.
She'd be smoky now since she's been doctored a bit. But like, yeah, I remember your 5.7, like Jared like going about like lifting the bales wire. And her just fucking blooming black smoke out.
He would have been doing that in too high a gear.
Aye, that sounds very Jared-esque.
But he can drive. I'll give him that. He can drive.
For those who don't know, Jared is Conor's older brother, and yeah, he can steer.
Yeah,
he's a rash operator, but fuck, he can steer.
he can steer, yes.
But here, look, I'm just looking here. We're at. Oh Jesus, we're right, Liam.
Well, here, guys. This is the conclusion to episode 4.
Episode 4. So,
thanks very much for listening for so far. Sure, if you don't mind, give us some suggestions in the comments and that there to what you maybe want to hear.
Yeah,
going
because
forward.
As it stands, we're literally just talking shit.
If there's anybody that's actually listening to it, it would also give an indication if anybody is. But
also, if you are listening to this, tell your mates. Because
totally.
This is the word of mouth, especially in this country. Word of mouth is the best way to spread any podcast. Like, we can try doing TikTok and we can try doing Instagram and YouTube and all that there, but realistically, unless people are talking about it.
Yeah.
That's so. Look, if you like it, share the word. If you don't like it, tell your enemies, so they don't have to like it either. But on that,
that's one way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah. On that note, I'm Michael Scullin.
And I'm Conor
McGowan. So you should just follow the same format I did. And yeah, so thank you very much for listening. Best of luck.
Have a nice one.
See you later.
Cheers.